Hey, what's up everybody? Chad Kalick here, and welcome back to the In a Crowded Room podcast, where on this episode, we are going to take a look at some truly astonishing footage filmed in the Mojave Desert, and it's pretty incredible. But before we get into that, we are also going to really quickly discuss the footage that Jeremy Corbell recently submitted to all of us. More military footage, he said, and maybe you guys have seen this. This is footage that he is describing as the disc or the flying saucer, and the DoD has not commented on it yet, but Jeremy assures us all that it is real. And when I initially saw this footage, again, I just shook my head. If this is what these guys have left, they are clearly at the bottom of the barrel. It's getting pretty embarrassing. Once I watched this footage, I knew exactly what I thought it was in a matter of seconds. And just recently, I saw that the Corridor crew also decided to give their thoughts on this footage. If you don't know who the Corridor crew is, they're a group of animators out here in Los Angeles that are really good at what they do. They're professional digital CGI animators. And they often look at footage from the paranormal community as well. Everything from Bigfoot to ghosts to UFOs. And they weighed in on Jeremy Corbell's recently released footage. And if you haven't seen it, it's pretty awesome. Check this out right here.
Hot off the press, we have a piping hot, brand new military WAP drop. And again, we're talking, this is like a week old, okay?
Oh, really?
So I want to get your guys' eyes on this ASAP.
Okay. Yeah, that was it. This looks like I'm looking at inversed infrared footage.
And we're looking at a spotlight going across the clouds, but because it's inverse, it's dark.
Now this footage was released by filmmaker Jeremy Corbell. He's in the space, okay? He makes documentaries about UFOs and stuff. And this is purported to be military footage. Now, to be clear, this has yet to be verified by the Pentagon, but he assures us that this is 100% guaranteed military footage.
Whatever.
For the sake of this, I'm taking his word for it.
We're gonna take his word for it. So with that said, there's another view of this thing that makes it a little clearer for us.
Is that a balloon?
That just looks like another orb
Is that
again.
another balloon? He's all wobbly. Ugh.
No, this is new footage that the military released.
It's a balloon! It's spinning end over end! I can see it!
Hold on. We're definitely seeing a strong specular highlight on the underside. And that specular is being blocked by the clouds, so we can kind of see it's going through the clouds to some degree. But yeah, it's moving in like a linear path. Really, the deduction is balloon. What kind of balloons would want to fly over a military base? What comes to mind?
Weather balloon, observation balloon,
Weather
Chinese spy
balloon.
balloon.
Ah,
Oh.
That's what I was thinking too. Some kind of spy balloon.
Okay.
The problem is, this is what spy balloons look like. Unless, of course, you're looking at them from the bottom. In which case, they look like that. Now, I'm no expert, and this certainly isn't proof, but if we overlay... I'm not saying this is proof, I'm just saying. If this was a spy balloon, they produce a minuscule infrared signature and also have a minimal radar return.
I will say from the footage, it just looks to me like a regular sized balloon close to that camera, just drifting across the screen. Guys like this,
If it's really
he black and whited it, he inverted it, flipped it upside down, and a balloon flew across the camera.
Nico, this is going on national tours right now.
What do you mean this is going on tours?
I mean, Jeremy's going on tours with this clip right now. This is popping off right now. So I wanted to bring it to the masters here.
I guess I appreciate the hustle, but there's no substance here.
I hate balloon themed hoaxes. I just want my balloons to be pure and innocent like they should be.
I thought we had something here. Jeremy, I did my best.
So there you go. I think Jeremy Corbell needs to stop releasing footage because these debunk sessions are adding up. You know, his flying triangles were drones. What was it called? The squid UFO. What was that one thing called? The jellyfish. the jellyfish UFO was of a bunch of balloons. This one's a balloon. It's pretty obvious to me by looking at it. Yeah, remember, Corbell is also thick as thieves with Lou Elizondo, who has been definitively proven to be a hoaxer and a agent of misinformation. Having said that, let's get to this other footage that I'm about to share with you. And it was footage that was actually filmed at a Lockheed Martin installation, which it's really cool footage. And before I show it to you, I just want to tell you why footage like this, like the footage you're about to see, is so exciting to me. When I visited Trout Lake, Washington, in, gosh, it must have been 10 years ago now. I've been there 3 different times. This is the UFO ranch. And the first time I went there, I've talked about this episode earlier, but for those of you that missed it, the first time I went there, this was really something that Ryan was pushing for. And kudos to him, because I initially did not want to do a UFO episode, only because, look, I loved it. In concept, I loved it. But the idea of going to a place that there would be UFO activity that was so reliable that you could plan a film shoot around it, I was like, it has to be bullshit. Like, this has to be some kind of scam that was going on out there. But the reports kept coming back saying, yeah, there's crazy things flying out there. And they come almost every night. And so, yeah, we went. And I was absolutely mesmerized by what I saw that night. In my entire Paranormal State career of 5 seasons of filming that show, this was one of the probably most fun episodes, or funnest episodes that we ever had. Filming, just because the childlike excitement that overcame the cast, the crew, producers, everybody, was incredible. I mean, it really was like being a kid again. The wonder on everybody's face. When you watch that episode, if you haven't watched it, I highly recommend it. It's one of my favorite episodes ever of Paranormal State. Everything that you see in that episode, everything was 100% real. And I've said this about all the episodes, all the investigations, everything you ever saw in Paranormal State investigation-wise was 100% real. The only things I ever really questioned, even myself, were the psychic walkthroughs. And that's only because I don't know how you determine if psychic ability is real or not under that setting. And I'm not saying that I know anybody who was cheating or they were fed information. It just always seemed to be something that, we'll put it this way, if you walk around guessing long enough, you're going to hit on some things, right? And that's kind of how it always seemed to me. But I don't have any information of anybody cheating or anything like that. But the investigations were always real. But the UFO episode, even if I watched it from the outside, if I wasn't there, I would wonder how much of what was filmed was authentic and real, or were they planes, or were they satellites? Like, what was in fact going on? And what I think was going on, and I think there's a lot of evidence to suggest this now, what I thought that night, I did think it was experimental craft. And I did believe that we have some kind of secret base in Mount Adams, especially once, James Gilliland, who owns the place, he showed me this footage of like black helicopters and black jets, buzzing the top of his house. And it was incredible footage. I was like, holy shit, there is some big time secret government activity going on out here. So that was my belief at the time, and still is my belief, that, look, Area 51 clearly isn't the only place that we test things. And if you've ever been in the upper Northwest, I mean, Jesus, talk about, barren land. I mean, there is miles and miles and miles and miles of nobody up there. Even the UFO ranch is pretty crazy. You're driving forever, and then out of the blue, there's, this gigantic ranch and a bunch of llamas. That's right, which I never even knew really what a llama was. The first time I saw the llamas there, I mean, they were on the road when we pulled in. I was like, what the fuck is that gigantic animal? I mean, it was freaky. But what I thought was obvious, when you watch the episode, you'll see these lights that are moving really fast, but they'll go from like basically the size of a bright star to like the size of like a silver dollar in the sky. And then they'll get really small again. And what I interpreted that to be as there are craft that are flying in and out of our atmosphere. Because if you've ever seen like, a falling star or a meteorite that gets really close to the ground, it looked almost the same way, where it comes in and it's this, like pinprick of light that gets brighter, 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 then gets really bright, and then kind of quickly burns out. That's kind of what these crafts were doing. So I've always been super interested in what does our government really have? And recently, Lockheed Martin has been in the news because there's been, pretty much confirmation that the Tic Tac UFO is in fact a Lockheed Martin craft, and that it has some experimental form of propulsion that they've now figured out. If you search on YouTube Professor Simon and put in Tic Tac, Professor Simon Tic Tac, he seems to be on top of that story. But yeah, they think the Tic Tac has been resolved. I talked about this last time too. I believe that the Tic Tac was ours since Skyfall told me that. But again, that kind of lets me know that we're, our companies, Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, companies like that, Skunk Works, which is Lockheed Martin's like secret division, they are hard at work on things that we don't know about. And could these things be back engineered from alien craft? Absolutely. I don't know why they couldn't be. The one thing that I think is fairly confirmed is that there are things flying around our planet that we don't know where they come from. And if that's the case, then I don't have any problem believing that some of them have either been brought down or have crashed. And who knows what we're building and what we're not. And maybe it is just an advancement of science. I don't know. But that whole kind of concept of testing new, really exotic craft is really exciting to me. And that is apparently what this footage is that I'm going to show you here. This is from a YouTube channel called Uncanny Expeditions. And I'll put the link in the description box below as well. This is a gentleman who's really into this stuff, and he travels around at night, and he camps out, and, he looks for this type of stuff, and he films. And most of the time, he doesn't film anything because it's hard. These are secretive installations. But he got really lucky on this specific night, and he was filming about, like I said, about a mile away with a night shot scope. And what you're going to see in this footage is an underground area that opens up. And this long arm extends, and it has some sort of craft that is on the end of the arm. Now he explains he believes they do this to test the radar capabilities of these experimental craft. But that's just what he thinks is going on. I can't tell what's going on from this footage, but what we can see that's obvious is that there is some kind of triangle craft that is at the end of this arm. And this craft is moving, and it's spinning around. And what blows my mind is at the end of the footage, you see this craft kind of go into some kind of cloaking ability where it all but disappears, and then it slowly comes back into frame. It is really mind-blowing shit. And this is, like I said, this is in one of the testing range areas in the Mojave Desert of Lockheed Martin. So let's take a look at this footage of this triangle craft that literally came out of the ground. And like I said, you're going to see like this white arm. It almost looks like light, but it's not. It's a light colored, like large arm, like piece of metal or something that is holding this craft up. And the guy filming this said, oh, I think the craft's upside down and it's spinning around. But I don't know. I can't tell if the craft is upside down or right side up. But what you can tell is that it's a triangle craft. Check this footage out.
Today, I'm out here in a remote stretch of the Mojave Desert. I'm going to be exploring a high security site called the Helendale RCS, or Radar Cross Section Facility. This facility, owned and operated by Lockheed Martin's legendary secret project division Skunk Works, is where some of the most advanced and exotic aircraft are brought out to be tested and have their radar signature measured by a huge array of radar dishes. They really built this facility with secrecy as a top priority. In fact, it contains a massive underground storage and aircraft prep facility with a huge silo that extends at least 200 feet below the surface. A huge, very distinctive looking pylon comes up from below the ground and hoists the classified aircraft up in the air while the tests are completed. They have these radar arrays at the opposite end of the range that they blast the aircraft with radar, and they measure its stealth capabilities. The fact that the aircraft are kept in the underground prep facility and the pylon extends from below the surface, this allows them to keep the aircraft away from the prying eyes of spy satellites and also weirdos in the desert like me.
After about 5 or 6 vehicles entered the facility, things kind of calmed down. I wasn't sure if I was going to see anything, but after a while sitting there in the dark, things started to get interesting. The first thing I noticed was a light appeared on the ground. It was too faint for me to see with the naked eye, but through my nods it showed up very bright. This was indicating to me that the hatch was most likely opening to the underground silo. Wow, this looks crazy. They got it rotating up there on that pylon. Security truck down there making another pass.
See, right there, it kind of looks like a triangle, but it is moving. It's almost like it's spinning. Keep watching. And now this is the part that completely blows my mind. If you look, this thing disappears. So it's like, okay, did it fly away? Did it fall off? Like, what happened to it, right? But keep watching. It comes back into sight slowly. So is this like some, Star Trek Klingon cloaking shit or something like that? I have no idea, but it's pretty badass. But it also tells me we think we know what's in our inventory. I think science and the guys who are creating this stuff, the Skunk Works team, I think they're way beyond our imagination. Way beyond. And did they get help from others, right? Because when the government always says, these craft that are flying around, they could be ours or our adversaries or other. So, who knows? I have no idea if these are back engineered or not, but I know this is pretty impressive. And if we have, for example, triangle craft like this that are flying around, think how many UFO sightings that would explain. Like a lot. Like what, half, if not more? And if we have craft that can actually cloak, like Klingon style, can just disappear, like they're not there, and you can see straight through it. I mean, think how many sightings that would explain when they, make themselves to where you can see them, right? If you go from being cloaked to visible. I don't know. This stuff is in the realm of, fantasy and science fiction, in my mind. But from watching this footage, maybe it's not so science fiction. Maybe it's not so fantasy. Maybe it's, been like this for a long time, and technology is way beyond what we think we can do. I have no idea, but I would love to know what you guys think. Oh, by the way, to the gentleman with the channel Uncanny Expeditions, touche. Amazing footage, my friend. And thank you for putting the time in. And again, I would love to know what all of you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. And I will be back tomorrow with more. All the best.